Hello my friends, hope everybody's having a great day today. A lot of Ripper rampers, guys. You're seeing 200% Ripper, 300% Ripper. This is just crazy times, guys. I think if you're watching this video, doesn't matter if you're a day trader, swing trader, I think you really need to take advantage of this time. Because it's not like this every day, guys. If you remember a couple of videos ago, I just said it was choppy in terms of trading. But as you see today, it's like really hot, 200, 300% Rippers. So if you're new to the channel, I share trade ideas on stock, Twitter every day, as well as on YouTube. I try to post every day, daily YouTube videos, and I do the live stream for those that want it. A lot of people are finding it very useful. A lot of people I see every day through my own eyes, I see them saying they're banking. And not just that, but a lot of people are finding good community, right? So it's a very strong community. So today I'm going to be mentioning a couple more stocks as well in this video. And if you watch my previous videos, remember I talked about, just the last video, I talked about IXHL, TAR, LACE. A lot of these stocks I'm mentioning are really moving up a lot. So you really want to pay attention, in my opinion, and remember these setups, right? So first stock today is Abve. This stock, what really caught my attention is the technical setup, right? If you look at the daily chart, it's looking really interesting. It's starting to coil up. The key level, I'm looking at $2 level. And what makes this stock interesting, not just technical wise, but this stock actually is, it operates in regenerative agriculture and food ingredients. This is a very interesting niche. If you remember what I said in my previous videos, I'm very bullish on certain sectors. I think this type of sector, again, I'm really bullish on it. This stock, not just the fundamental side, but if you look at the technical side, as I said earlier, what do you notice about the extended time frame chart? You could go to the weekly chart and go to the daily chart instead of the 5-minute. You're seeing that the stock is in an uptrend. This stock could easily squeeze the shorts, in my opinion, right? This stock usually fades. So I'm seeing a couple on social media, people that might be bearish on the stock. But this stock reminds me similar to LACE I talked about last video. And these setups that just end up holding and doing liquidity trap type of action, right? So this stock, definitely going to keep an eye on this one. LASC. Next stock would be, no, not LASC, I'm Abve. Next stock will be Zena, Zena. This stock, go to the extended chart as well. This stock is in a similar type of multi-day setup type of look. This is actually an interesting stock because it's a newer IPO. It just came out this year, and this stock is in a really bullish sector as well, technology. So when you're looking at Zena stock, this stock also has those angles that I mentioned earlier on Abve, right? This is looking at online what they're saying about the stock. Zena is backed by acquisitions, and not just that, but they have had really nice revenue growth actually. If you look at their year over year, right, they said that 500% year over year this Q2 2025, and they're increasing the price target analysts as well. So this stock, you really want to keep a close eye on the Zena. It looks interesting. I believe this is a low floater as well, similar to Abve. Next one that you want to keep an eye on is Gwav, Gwav. This is a multi-day setup that made a really nice move actually recently, but it made a big pullback, and now it's starting to look those interesting levels again. I'm mentioning more multi-day setup because I had a couple people actually today say they prefer multi-day setup, and that's a really good point in my opinion, because when it comes to trading, there's not one strategy that's better than the other, right? Day trading could be really fast, but when you're talking about swing trading, more slower multi-day setups, those are really profitable as well. If you remember, I talked about TAR, that stock was a multi-day setup. There was a couple people that swang that trade, and it just ended up ripping $5 a share today. So Gwav, this one, I'm looking at if it holds those key levels. If you look at the fundamental side on the stock, it's also interesting. This stock personality for Gwav actually it tends to make big spikes up really quickly. So you really want to maybe set alerts for the stock once it reaches those key pivot areas. There's actually settings on every platform that you could do that actually. I believe you set alarms, and that's something that I recommend as well, right? When you're day trading, because these stocks move quick. So next stock we have to keep an eye on is Verb. This stock, Verb, was a really nice runner. If you remember, I mentioned that stock early. It just ended up going parabolic, and right now it's starting to go towards those levels. When it comes to the stock Verb, this used to be in that similar type of technology sector, right? But it switched over to the Toncoin angle. And I made many videos on Verb in the past. If you're new to the channel, I recommend you check out those other videos I made on Verb. This is another stock that has that multi-day type of potential. So you really want to keep an eye on this stock. I didn't want to repeat the information I gave last video, which is just a couple videos. I think it was like a week ago, so I didn't say it, but I put it up on the screen so you could read it if you want. So next stock, we want to keep an eye on HCWB. This one I mentioned today. It had cancer type of news, right? It doesn't really matter the full details when it comes to PR, small cap. I know a lot of people look for help when it comes to pre-market news, and I've been doing this a long time when you're talking about stocks and pre-market. Many traders, not just myself, but many traders that mainly focus in the morning time, they don't read the full article, like, you know, pages and pages of news filings when it comes to press releases. It's just most traders just look at the headline, not just the headline, but just the key data points, like the bullet points, right? When it comes to these small caps, because these stocks move really quick. If you watch yourself as well, they could go up $2 within, like, you know, a minute or two. So you don't really have time to read all that pages, right? So this stock that really caught my attention is not just the cancer angle, but the float. If you watch my videos, you already know I pound it every day, guys. Float, volume, and news. So this stock had 1 million float, I believe, or I think it was even less than that. I gotta check, but if you had 1 million float, cancer news, and it's pushing, right? This is a really clean move. The stock ran several dollars a share today. The team got in early. And I'm just mentioning this stock again because you really want to keep an eye on if he holds these levels similar to TAR, right? THR. That was a multi-day setup. Once it holds that level, it's after a big pop-up. So you maybe add this to your watch list. HCWB, it looks really interesting. I think bears are kind of trapped on this based on the price action as well. So next stock will be Pstv. This stock is in the similar, I was just mentioning, right, the cancer angle. Again, I made a video on many videos on this in the past, and it made a really nice moves after the videos. And then right now is going to those nice support levels as well. So you really want to keep an eye on Pstv, similar to IXHL. I mentioned that stock at the right time, and then it just made a really nice bounce. And they also dropped news as well after my video. So Pstv, I'm looking at those key level holds. Again, I don't want to repeat the information I made in the other videos, so I'm not saying it, but I put it in the video so you could read it if you want. And this is another stock that usually likes to run well, so I'm going to be keeping an eye on Pstv. Next stock is Soun AI. Soun. This stock, very, very popular. Again, I made many videos on this in the past. I don't want to repeat the info, but I'm going to put on the screen. This stock is another multi-day setup idea. It's a swing trade idea as well. You really want to see pullbacks on this name. And in my opinion, I think dips are good. This is a higher float stock, though, I believe. I think it's heavier, right? When it comes to these float data, the more heavier, the higher float it is, the higher market cap. Usually it's much more thicker and slower. Right, when it comes to trading, this is my personal preference. I like stocks that are really light, you know, low float. They move quick, right? But Soun, this is a very interesting setup, right? If you look at the stock, what they're specializing in, they're specializing in voice recognition and AI solutions. I think I said it in my many videos, right? Like BBAI, I talked about other stocks in the AI sector. I think AI is pretty obvious at this point, but I think it's just gonna have really, really nice future when you're talking about technology and this in terms of projection, right? So this is a solid multi-day setup idea. Keep this on your radar, guys. So next one would be GoPro. This stock, I've actually mentioned this stock before the crazy run up. This was like a few weeks ago. And today, again, I mentioned it as they're starting to perk. They started to have nice volume, and then it just kept extending over all the way until after hours. So this stock, I believe, has high short float percentage. It reminds me of those stocks similar to OPEN, similar to KSS, Kohl's, Wendy's. You know, that type of short squeeze type of setup. So keep an eye on GoPro. This stock, I think, could continue multi-day if it holds those levels, right? Because this stock, again, what I just said about earlier in the video, seems like bears are kind of trapped in this stock as well based on how it's holding up and not fading, right? So also another thing about GoPro is that when there's new technology in the future or new hardware, right, this stock could increase their potential, right, when it comes to this sector. So there's only like a few more stock. Next one will be OPEN. This stock I made many videos on it. If you check my other videos, I've been mentioning this stock since $1, I think even under $1. And then it became like now a historical movement, right? And I'm not saying that I'm the, like the leader of Open, I'm not. But I'm just saying, this stock is really popular. And the reason I'm saying that is because when a stock is really popular, when it pretty much literally is the #1 traded stock in the market, and on top of that, you're seeing huge media coverage on the stock, it increases not just the volume, but it gets really, really crowded. And again, I'm not saying it's a bad thing necessarily, but if a stock is really, really crowded, because you saw today it was a big drop, but when it comes to that angle, there's opportunity, right? I said in my previous video when Open fell, I think it was a few days ago, I said this is a nice healthy move. And exactly after that video, you can check, it made a really big rally up. So I think Open, in my opinion, this is just my opinion, but I think dips are going to get eaten up on this stock because it's just so popular. But again, when it comes to any stock, any trade, you cannot expect something guaranteed. There's no guarantee in the stock market. If anybody says that, they're lying or they're BSing, right? There's no guarantee. Doesn't matter if this stock ends up going to $10, $20. There's always a chance it's going to fail, guys. So you always got to remember that when you're in the stock market. Always got to manage your risk. Always got to, be careful. All right, but looking at the stock, it still looks really good even after that sell-off today. And like I said a minute ago, I think dips are going to get eaten up. So you really want to pay attention to the levels on the stock, right? Once you get to those nice levels, it could be an opportunity, right? And again, I do want to repeat the Open data that I talked in my other video, so I just put it on the screen so you can read it if you want. And the last stock for the video is GNS, guys. GNS stock tomorrow. There's potential on the stock, guys. I said many videos. I made a video on this stock around 50 cent area, 49 cent, and it ran all the way to almost $2. And then I made multiple videos as it was consolidating, and right now, technical wise, it's at that perfect tight area. Now all that has to happen, in my opinion, is a nice catalyst in this week. Hopefully tomorrow something big comes out, because I don't have any connection with GNS. I said many times, I don't have any insider knowledge or any talk to CEO or Kevin Malone. So I'm as just person who's bullish on GNS. I hope that good news comes out. And again, I put the data for the people that want to read it on the screen, guys. I made many videos on GNS, so let's see, guys. If you watched the whole video, guys, I appreciate a like and a comment. It helps grow the community, and I'm just gonna continue to try to help people every day, guys. I just find joy, in helping people. As I know, trading could get really hard sometimes, and I know that there's not a lot of people that genuinely want to help in trading, in my opinion, right? So hope everybody has a great day, guys, and I'm gonna see you tomorrow in the morning and the live stream as well as Stock to Twitter. And let's have a great week, guys. The week just started. Stock Catcher signing out, guys. Have a great night.